On the edge of the silent sea sat a tiny village named Willow Bay. It was so peaceful that even the waves seemed to whisper instead of crash. Every evening, fishermen returned home before sunset. Not because of storms, not because of dangerous creatures, but because everyone believed that after darkness arrived, a mysterious lighthouse appeared. Oddly enough, there was no lighthouse during the day, only an empty cliff overlooking endless water. Yet every midnight, a warm golden light slowly emerged. No one knew where it came from. Some villagers believed ghosts lit the lantern. Others whispered it was magic. Children imagined friendly giants living inside it. Old sailors simply smiled and refused to answer. Among everyone in Willow Bay lived a curious young mapmaker named Oliver. Oliver loved mysteries, but unlike many heroes, he wasn't particularly brave. Actually, he was wonderfully clumsy. He once packed a backpack and forgot the backpack. He wore 2 different boots so often. People assumed it was fashion. Whenever nervous, he talked to birds. The birds never seemed to mind. Every morning he drew maps of places that didn't exist yet. He believed every mystery deserved a map, even if nobody had discovered it. One peaceful evening, Oliver noticed something strange. A tiny glowing feather floated across the sea breeze. It landed gently in his notebook. Instead of writing, the feather drew its own message. Come after midnight. Oliver blinked. The words disappeared. Then, the feather quietly became ordinary again. He looked toward the empty cliff. Nothing. Just moonlight and silence. Yet somehow, he smiled. Perhaps tonight, the mystery would finally begin. When the village fell asleep, Oliver quietly climbed the winding path toward the cliff. The moon painted silver patterns across the ocean. Owls softly called in distant forests. Cool wind carried the scent of salt and lavender. Then, exactly as the old stories promised, golden light slowly rose from the empty cliff. Stone walls appeared. Windows formed from shimmering stars. A spiral staircase unfolded from thin air. The lighthouse had returned. Its warm light wasn't bright. It was comforting, like candlelight inside a cozy home. Oliver stepped closer. The giant wooden door opened by itself. No spooky crack. Just a polite click. Inside stood, not ghosts, not monsters, but 3 tiny mice wearing blue sailor hats. One held a feather pen, another balanced a telescope. The third struggled to carry an enormous teacup. Oh good, one mouse sighed. You're finally here. Oliver blinked. You were expecting me. The mice nodded together. Of course. We've been waiting only. One checked a pocket watch. 42 years. Oliver laughed nervously. I think you're confusing me with someone else. No, said the smallest mouse. We are excellent at confusing people. Today we are surprisingly correct. The mice invited Oliver inside. Warm cinnamon tea filled the air. Books floated gently through the room. Tiny glowing fish swam through empty space like birds. Nothing seemed interested in frightening him. Everything simply felt wonderfully impossible. At the very top of the lighthouse sat an elderly woman wearing a silver cloak stitched with tiny constellations. Her name was Myra. She wasn't told in the ordinary way. She simply looked like someone who had watched many sunsets. She smiled warmly. I've been hoping curiosity would arrive. Oliver bowed awkwardly and almost fell over. Myra chuckled. Excellent. You'll fit in perfectly. She explained something extraordinary. The lighthouse was not built for ships. It guided forgotten dreams. Every dream people abandoned. Every hope they gave up. Every promise they almost kept. Drifted across the ocean as tiny lights. Without guidance, those dreams disappeared forever. The lighthouse collected them, protected them, and sometimes returned them to people who were finally ready. Oliver stared through the great glass lantern. Thousands, millions, of tiny golden lights floated across the sea. Each one represented someone's forgotten possibility. A child who wanted to paint. A grandmother hoping to learn music. A traveler who never took the first step. A lonely baker dreaming of opening a cafe. Dreams never truly vanished. They simply waited. Oliver whispered, "That's beautiful." Myra nodded. "It is. But something has gone terribly wrong." The old lighthouse keeper, Myra, slowly placed a glowing crystal into the center of the lantern room. Immediately, the enormous lens above them began to turn. Not quickly, not loudly, just a gentle, steady hum, like the sound of someone peacefully breathing in their sleep. Golden light spread across the silent ocean. Oliver stepped closer to the great window. Far below, thousands of tiny lights floated upon the water. Some were bright like little stars. Others flickered softly, as though they were trying very hard not to disappear. "What are they?" Oliver whispered. Myra smiled. "Dreams. The ones people almost forgot." Oliver watched one tiny light drift slowly toward the lighthouse. Inside it, he could somehow see the image of a young girl painting colorful birds across a giant wall. Another light floated nearby. Inside was an old fisherman smiling as he learned to play the violin. One after another, little glowing dreams passed by. A baker, a traveler, a teacher, a gardener, someone writing their very first book, someone learning to forgive, someone laughing again after many sad years. Each dream was different, each one beautiful. Oliver couldn't stop smiling. They are alive. In a way. Myra answered softly. Dreams carry hope. And hope has its own kind of heartbeat. The little mice hurried around the room. One polished the lantern glass. Another adjusted tiny golden gears. The third pushed an enormous ladder that was much too large for such a tiny mouse. Halfway across the room, the ladder tipped over. It landed with the gentlest bonk. "Oh dear," said the mouse. "I've accidentally organized gravity again." Oliver laughed quietly. The lighthouse suddenly felt less mysterious, and more like a very unusual family. Outside, the sea remained perfectly calm, until one light disappeared, then another, then three more. Oliver frowned. "Did you see that?" Myra nodded. Her smile faded. "I did." Far away, a dark mist rolled across the ocean. It moved strangely, not like weather, not like clouds, almost as though it were searching. Wherever it drifted, the tiny dream lights quietly vanished, not destroyed, simply gone. The lighthouse lantern shined brighter. The mist paused, then slowly retreated into darkness. The room became silent. Even the playful mice stopped working. The sleepy raven sitting near the window opened one eye. "Schodorfog," he muttered. then closed his eye again. Oliver looked toward Myra. "What is shadow fog?" She sighed. "No one truly knows. It appeared many years ago. It never attacks people. It only steals forgotten dreams. And every year, it grows stronger." Oliver looked back toward the sea. "If dreams disappear, what happens?" Myra answered gently. "People stop believing wonderful things are possible. They become ordinary. Not peacefully ordinary, but the kind that forgets how to wonder." Oliver thought about the villagers. Some had once dreamed of exploring distant lands. Others wanted to build incredible inventions. Many had quietly stopped believing they could. Perhaps their dreams had never truly vanished. Perhaps they had simply been stolen. A tiny bell suddenly rang somewhere below. Ding! 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 One mouse gasped. "Oh dear! It's arriving!" Oliver blinked. "What is?" The mouse pointed toward the sea. "The dream train." "The what?" No one answered. Instead, everyone hurried downstairs. Oliver followed. Deep beneath the lighthouse, a long wooden platform stretched into glowing mist. There were no railroad tracks. Instead, silver moonlight formed two shining rails across the ocean itself. Far away, a whistle echoed. Not loud. Soft. Comforting. Almost sleepy. Slowly, a train appeared. It rolled across the moonlit sea as smoothly as if water had become solid glass. Its engine was polished brass. Its windows glowed amber. Steam drifted upward, forming little clouds shaped like sleeping cats. Oliver rubbed his eyes. "I must still be dreaming." The raven yawned. "We all are. That's why it's so interesting." The train stopped beside the platform. Its doors quietly opened. No passengers stepped out. Instead, thousands of tiny glowing bottles floated from the carriages. Each bottle contained a sleeping dream. Some sparkled blue. Others glowed gold. One shimmered emerald green. A mouse carefully caught each bottle. Another recorded names inside an enormous book. Oliver noticed labels. Become an astronaut. Open a bakery. Learn to dance. Write music. Plant an orchard. Every bottle represented someone's forgotten wish. The station filled with peaceful light. Then, everything became cold. The train whistle suddenly stopped. Dark mist appeared beyond the tracks. Shadow fog had returned. This time, closer. Much closer. Tiny dream bottles trembled. The lantern above flickered. The mice gathered together. Even the sleepy raven stood. For the first time, Oliver noticed fear in Myra's eyes. Not panic. Just quiet concern. Shadow fog drifted toward the platform. Without making a sound. Without rushing. Like endless smoke. The dream bottles began floating toward it. Slowly. As if being pulled by invisible wind. "No." One mouse whispered. The bottles rose higher. Oliver looked around desperately. There had to be something he could do. But he wasn't a hero. He wasn't a wizard. He wasn't even particularly coordinated. Then, he remembered something. His notebook. The strange feather. The maps. He quickly opened it. Blank pages fluttered in the breeze. Without thinking, he began drawing. Not buildings. Not mountains. Just a path. A winding road leading from shadow fog back toward the lighthouse. As the final line touched the page, something extraordinary happened. The glowing path appeared across the sky. Golden. Gentle. Peaceful. The drifting dream bottles stopped moving toward the darkness. Instead, they slowly floated back, following the path Oliver had drawn. Shadow fog paused, almost confused. Then, it quietly disappeared into the night. Silence returned. The dream train gave one happy whistle. The mice cheered. One accidentally hugged the wrong mouse. Another hugged the ladder. The raven blinked. "I suppose," he muttered. That worked. Myra looked at Oliver with quiet amazement. "You didn't fight the darkness." Oliver shook his head. "I only gave the dreams another way home." Myra smiled. "And that," she whispered, "is exactly how light wins." Outside, the lighthouse lantern shined brighter than ever before. Far beyond the horizon, someone sleeping peacefully smiled, without ever knowing why. The night drifted on peacefully. The lighthouse glowed behind Oliver like a warm star resting upon the cliffs. Below, the silent sea shimmered beneath the moon. The dream train had already disappeared beyond the horizon. The little mice hurried about, preparing for a journey. One mouse packed sandwiches. Another packed maps. The third packed an umbrella. Oliver looked up at the perfectly clear sky. "There isn't a cloud." The mouse nodded proudly. "Exactly. It's the perfect weather to surprise everyone." Oliver smiled. He had already learned that asking too many questions in the lighthouse usually led to wonderfully strange answers. Myra slowly walked toward an old wooden boat resting beneath the lighthouse. It looked ordinary, perhaps even older than the village itself. Its paint had faded. The ropes were neatly tied. A small bronze lantern hung from the bow. Oliver frowned. "This boat?" Myra smiled. "It only looks old." She gently touched the railing. Immediately, the boat awakened. Tiny golden lines spread across its wooden planks like flowing sunlight. The sails unfolded by themselves. Stars sparkled inside the white fabric. The bronze lantern glowed with soft amber light. Even the anchor stretched as though waking from a very long nap. The sleepy raven landed on the mast. "I still vote we stay home." One mouse laughed. "You vote that every day." "And one day," the raven replied, "I'll be correct." The boat quietly slipped into the sea. No splash, no waves. It simply floated as though the water welcomed it. Oliver looked back. The lighthouse slowly grew smaller. Its golden beams stretched across the ocean like a bridge made of moonlight. Ahead, nothing but endless calm water. The breeze smelled of lavender and pine. Somewhere beneath the surface, silver fish danced around the boat, leaving tiny circles of glowing light behind them. No one hurried. There was nowhere to rush. Night itself seemed content to move slowly. After a long while, Oliver noticed something unusual. Far ahead, a thick blanket of white mist covered the sea. Not frightening, just peaceful. It looked soft enough to sleep upon. Myra lowered the sail. "We walk from here." Oliver blinked. "Walk?" She smiled. "Only if your heart remembers kindness." The mice stepped over the side of the boat. Instead of falling into the water, their tiny feet rested upon the mist. Oliver watched with wide eyes. The raven sighed dramatically. "I dislike magical physics." Very carefully, Oliver stepped forward. His foot touched the mist. Instead of sinking, it became firm beneath him, like walking across a fluffy cloud. He laughed quietly. "This is impossible." The smallest mouse grinned. "Most wonderful things are." The mist stretched in every direction. There were no landmarks, only glowing white silence. Oliver wondered how anyone could possibly know where they were going. Then, tiny footprints appeared before them. Golden footprints, each one shining softly. "They're not ours," Oliver whispered. "No," said Myra. "They belong to kindness." The island shows different paths to different travelers. Oliver looked closer. The footprints seemed to appear only one step ahead at a time. As they walked, new ones formed. Behind them, the older footprints quietly faded away. No one could walk backward, only forward. After what felt like both minutes and hours, the mist slowly disappeared. Oliver gasped. Before them floated the most beautiful island he had ever seen. It wasn't attached to the sea. Instead, it rested gently above the water, held aloft by enormous glowing roots hanging beneath it. Waterfalls poured from its edges into the ocean below, only to become sparkling clouds before reaching the surface. Trees covered the island, but these were unlike ordinary trees. Their leaves shimmered silver. Tiny lantern flowers bloomed beneath every branch. Whenever the breeze passed, the flowers chimed softly like distant wind bells. Butterflies made of golden light floated lazily through the air. Everything felt peaceful, safe, almost dreamlike. As the group stepped onto the island, the ground welcomed them with warm golden light. Immediately, something surprising happened. Every flower nearby slowly turned toward Oliver. Not because of magic, because they were curious. One flower yawned, another sneezed, a third politely said, "Good evening." Oliver looked around. Did the flowers just talk? The mouse beside him nodded. "They're wonderfully conversational. Never ask them about mushrooms. They'll argue for hours." One nearby flower shouted, "Mushrooms are suspicious." Another flower answered, "They're misunderstood." Soon half the garden had joined the debate. The raven quietly flew away. "I've heard this discussion before." Deep inside the forest, the travelers discovered something enormous. At first, Oliver thought it was a hill. Then, the hill blinked. A giant emerald eye slowly opened. The ground gently moved beneath them. The hill was breathing. It wasn't a hill at all. It was an enormous turtle, larger than a castle. Trees grew across its shell. Rivers flowed through moss-covered valleys upon its back. Tiny deer wandered peacefully through its forest. Birds built nests among ancient branches. Oliver whispered, "It's alive." Myra nodded. "Everyone calls him Elder Moss." The giant turtle slowly lifted his head. Every movement was calm, gentle, patient. His voice sounded like distant thunder wrapped inside a warm blanket. "Welcome, little travelers." Oliver bowed respectfully. The turtle smiled. "I remember when mountains were young. I remember when stars practiced shining. And I remember." He leaned closer. "Where I left my spectacles." Everyone became silent. The turtle blinked. Oh dear. I've forgotten again. The mice immediately began searching. Oliver couldn't help laughing. Even magical turtles misplace things. After several minutes, one mouse pointed upward. They are on your nose. The giant turtle crossed his eyes. Oh. There they are. Everyone laughed softly. Even the trees seemed to giggle. The turtle slowly became serious. His smile faded. I know why you've come. Myra nodded. The shadow fog. Elder Moss sighed deeply. The entire forest upon his shell gently swayed. It wasn't always darkness. Oliver listened carefully. Long ago. The turtle continued. Shadow fog had another name. It was called Forgotten Fear. It was never evil. It was lonely. It grew stronger whenever people abandoned hope. It fed upon dreams because dreams were warm. And fear was always cold. Oliver thought quietly. So, it isn't trying to hurt people. No, said the turtle. It simply doesn't know another way to survive. The wind became still. Somewhere nearby, a little bird began singing. The melody floated gently through the trees. Oliver looked toward the horizon. Could fear actually be healed instead of defeated? Myra seemed to know exactly what he was thinking. The brightest light, she whispered, is understanding. As dawn slowly approached, the island itself began fading. The waterfalls became mist. The silver trees slowly dissolved into sparkling light. The flowers waved goodbye. Visit again, they called. And bring sandwiches. The giant turtle smiled one last time. Remember, he said gently, courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing kindness, even while fear walks beside you. Oliver quietly repeated those words to himself. He knew, without understanding why, that they would become important very soon. Together, the travelers stepped back onto the path of mist. Behind them, the island of kindness disappeared, as though it had never existed at all. Only one silver leaf drifted down into Oliver's notebook. When it touched the page, a new map began drawing itself, not to a place, but to a mystery yet to be solved. And somewhere, far across the silent sea, a pair of glowing eyes watched from within the shadow fog, not with anger, not with hatred, but with endless, ancient loneliness. Morning did not arrive all at once. Instead, it unfolded gently across the silent sea. The eastern sky turned from midnight blue to deep violet, then soft lavender, and finally a warm shade of golden peach. The little boat drifted peacefully over water so calm that the clouds seemed to be floating beneath it instead of above. Oliver sat quietly at the bow. The silver leaf from the island of kindness rested inside his notebook. Every few moments, it shimmered. Whenever it glowed, a tiny new line appeared on the mysterious map that had begun drawing itself. It wasn't finished. Not yet. But it seemed to know exactly where it wanted to lead. The sleepy raven stretched one wing. I had a dream. One mouse looked up. What about? The raven yawned. I was taking a nap. Everyone laughed. That sounds exactly like you, Oliver said. The raven nodded proudly. It was an excellent dream. For several peaceful hours, they sailed through quiet waters. Schools of glowing fish swam beneath the boat. Sometimes they form circles, sometimes spirals, sometimes shapes that look suspiciously like smiling faces. One fish leaped from the sea, looked directly at Oliver, and sneezed. Then it disappeared with a tiny splash. The smallest mouse sighed. Sea fish are delightfully strange. They say the same thing about land mice. Oliver replied, "Fair enough." At noon, the silver leaf suddenly floated out of the notebook. It hovered in the air, turned once, then pointed straight down. Oliver leaned over the side of the boat. Nothing. Just crystal clear water. He could see smooth stones resting on the seabed far below. And then, something moved. Not a fish. Not seaweed. An enormous doorway slowly appeared beneath the waves. It was carved from pale blue stone. Ancient symbols glowed across its surface. Around it floated thousands of tiny bubbles that never reached the top. Myra smiled softly. "We've arrived." Oliver blinked. "The library is underwater. It has always preferred quiet." The old lighthouse keeper lifted the bronze lantern from the front of the boat. She whispered a few gentle words. The lantern answered with a warm golden glow. The sea beneath them slowly separated. Not dramatically, not with roaring waves. Instead, the water politely moved aside. A narrow pathway appeared. Crystal walls of water rose on either side. Fish swam beside them as though they were walking through a living aquarium. Sunlight filtered down from above. It danced across the watery walls like liquid diamonds. Oliver looked around in amazement. "I've never seen anything so beautiful." The raven glanced upward. "I've never trusted this much water." One mouse smiled. "It hasn't fallen yet." They walked slowly toward the ancient doorway. As Oliver approached, the great stone doors opened without a sound. Warm light spilled out. Inside, the air smelled of cedar wood, old paper, fresh rain, and a hint of cinnamon. It felt less like entering a building, and more like stepping into a peaceful memory. The library was endless. Shelves curved upward higher than Oliver could see. Wooden staircases slowly rearranged themselves whenever someone needed them. Books floated gently through the air. Tiny lanterns drifted between the shelves like friendly fireflies. Some books quietly hummed. Others softly snored. One thick green book suddenly sneezed. Several nearby books politely wished it good health. Oliver couldn't help smiling. This place is alive. Myra nodded. In its own way. Near the center of the library sat a single enormous tree. Its roots spread beneath the polished wooden floor. Its branches reached through the ceiling into the sea above. Instead of fruit, books grew from every branch. Large books, tiny books, golden books, blue books. Some were wrapped in vines. Others sparkled with tiny stars. Whenever one became ready, it gently released itself, floating down onto waiting shelves. Oliver stared upward. The books grow. They always have, said a calm voice nearby. Standing beside the tree was a tall woman wearing robes the color of autumn leaves. Her long silver hair flowed almost to the floor. Tiny letters drifted gently around her like falling snow. She smiled warmly. "I am Alara, the keeper of stories." Oliver bowed politely. "It's nice to meet you." Alara looked directly into his eyes. "No," she said kindly. "It is nice to meet you." Again. Oliver frowned. "I've never been here before." Alara's smile became mysterious. Not while awake. One of the mice whispered, "The library remembers everyone, even if they don't remember it." A pleasant silence followed. In this place, silence never felt empty. It felt comfortable, like sitting beside an old friend. Alara gently removed a small blue book from a nearby shelf. It floated into Oliver's hands. The cover was blank. No title. Oliver asked, "It doesn't have one yet." He carefully opened it. Every page was empty, until he touched the first sheet. Golden words slowly appeared. Not printed. Written. As though invisible ink had been waiting patiently all along. The page read, "Oliver, who believed maps could guide more than footsteps." His eyes widened. The next sentence appeared. "The path ahead cannot be found by searching. It can only be found by becoming." Oliver quietly read the words again. "They're changing. They always do." Alara replied, "The future is still writing itself." Nearby, the sleepy raven opened his own little book. It contained only one sentence. "Professional napper." The raven nodded proudly. "Accurate." The mice each received books too. One's book contained recipes. Another held jokes. The third contained nothing but drawings of cheese. He looked delighted. Oliver wandered slowly between the towering shelves. Some books glowed softly. Others whispered stories. One shelf contained only books that had never been written. Another held stories that people dreamed but forgot upon waking. One section contained laughter. Not written laughter. Actual laughter. Tiny crystal bottles lined the shelves. Whenever someone uncorked one, happy giggles floated through the library before gently disappearing. Oliver laughed. "This might be my favorite place." Suddenly, one tiny bottle rolled from a shelf. It stopped beside Oliver's boot. Inside was the faint sound of a child laughing. Not loudly, just joyfully. He carefully picked it up. Alara watched him. That laugh almost disappeared. Almost. It belonged to a little boy. He forgot how to smile after becoming frightened. Oliver held the bottle carefully. "Can it be returned?" Alara nodded. If someone reminds him that the world is still full of wonder. Oliver smiled softly. "I hope someone does." As the afternoon drifted peacefully onward, Alara led the travelers to the oldest shelf in the entire library. Unlike every other shelf, this one held only a single book. It was enormous, bound in deep midnight blue leather. Its edges shimmered like moonlight on water. "The Book of Beginnings," Alara whispered. "It remembers the first story." Oliver carefully touched its cover. The book slowly opened by itself. Instead of words, there was a picture, a small glowing light, floating beside a tiny shadow. Neither looked frightening. They simply sat together beneath an endless sky. Then words slowly appeared beneath the image. Light was never created to destroy darkness. Light was created to guide it home. The room became perfectly still. Even the floating books stopped moving. Oliver felt something warm inside his heart. Perhaps this had always been the answer. Not fighting. Not winning. Helping. Healing. Understanding. Before they left, Alara handed Oliver a small silver bookmark shaped like a feather. "You'll need this soon." "For what?" She smiled gently. "The chapter that hasn't happened yet." Oliver laughed. Everyone here speaks in puzzles. The librarian winked. Only because straight answers are terribly boring. The mice nodded in complete agreement. Even the raven smiled. Just a little. As the travelers stepped back through the ancient doorway, the sea quietly closed behind them. The underwater library disappeared beneath calm blue waves. Hidden once more beneath the silent sea, Oliver looked at the feather-shaped bookmark in his hand. It felt warm, as though it already knew where it belonged. Far away, beyond the peaceful horizon, the shadow fog drifted silently. This time, it did not move closer. Instead, it simply watched the fading sunlight, as if trying to remember something it had forgotten long ago. Perhaps, deep within the darkness, a tiny spark of hope had begun to glow, and somewhere in the distance, the Whispering Lighthouse shone patiently, waiting for the night, and for the next chapter of the journey. Night returned with quiet grace. The little enchanted boat drifted across the silent sea as though it already knew the way home. Above, the first stars appeared one by one. Some shimmered brightly. Others blinked sleepily behind slow-moving clouds. Oliver sat near the bow, holding the silver feather bookmark Alara had given him. It felt warm in his hand. Every so often, it gave a tiny pulse of light, almost like a heartbeat. The sleepy raven noticed. "It likes you." Oliver smiled. "How can you tell?" The raven shrugged. "It hasn't flown away." The three little mice were busy preparing dinner. One stirred a pot of vegetable soup. One carefully sliced warm bread. The third, for reasons known only to himself, attempted to teach a potato how to whistle. After several minutes, he sighed. "I don't think it's interested." Oliver chuckled. "Maybe it's just shy." The mouse nodded thoughtfully. "That's very possible." The potato remained completely silent. After supper, the sea became strangely quiet. Even the breeze slowed. The silver feather suddenly floated from Oliver's pocket. It hovered above the deck, turned gently, and pointed toward a distant range of dark hills rising from the shoreline. Myra looked up. "The valley is waiting." Oliver noticed there was no harbor, no path, no village, only rolling hills covered with silver grass. As the boat reached the shore, the grass bent gently toward them, as if bowing in welcome. The travelers stepped onto the land. The ground felt soft beneath their feet. The air carried the sweet scent of wildflowers and fresh rain. Tiny glowing insects floated lazily through the evening air. Not quite fireflies, not quite stars, something beautifully in between. The silver feather floated ahead, patiently guiding them. Soon, they entered a wide valley surrounded by gentle mountains. At first, it seemed completely ordinary, peaceful, quiet, still. Then Oliver heard something, very faint. A child's laughter. It echoed across the valley. As soon as the joyful sound reached the sky, a tiny golden light floated upward. Higher, higher, until it settled among the stars. Oliver stopped walking. "Did you see that?" Myra smiled warmly. "This is the Valley of Laughter. Every sincere laugh becomes a star." Oliver looked upward. The stars. They were all once laughter. Many of them. She nodded. The happiest moments never truly disappear. They simply find another place to shine. Oliver gazed at the night sky with quiet wonder. Suddenly, the The stars felt much closer. As they continued walking, they discovered something unusual. The valley was almost empty. There were no children playing, no families walking, no music drifting through the air. Only silence. Too much silence. The stars above looked fewer than they should. The mice became unusually quiet. Even the cheerful little potato teacher looked concerned. Oliver turned to Myra. "Where is everyone?" She looked toward the far end of the valley. Someone stopped laughing. At the center of the valley stood an enormous stone chair. Upon it sat a giant. He was taller than the oldest oak tree. His beard flowed almost to the ground. Tiny birds had built nests inside it. A family of rabbits peacefully slept beside one enormous boot. The giant looked gentle, not frightening. Simply very, very sad. He stared silently at the stars, without moving, without speaking, only sighing from time to time. Each sigh caused the grass to ripple like gentle waves. Oliver whispered, "Who is he?" Myra answered softly, "His name is Bram. He once laughed louder than anyone in the valley." What happened? No one remembers. Oliver slowly approached. The giant noticed him. His kind blue eyes looked tired. "Good evening, little traveler." His voice rolled softly through the valley like distant thunder. Oliver smiled politely. "Good evening." Bram nodded. "I apologize. I'm not very good company anymore." Oliver sat upon a nearby stone. Neither spoke for several moments. Sometimes, silence is a conversation all by itself. Finally, Oliver asked, "Do you miss laughing?" The giant looked toward the stars. "Every day. But I forgot how." The smallest mouse quietly climbed onto Bram's enormous shoulder. "You forgot." Bram nodded. "I remember being happy. I remember smiling. But laughter, it feels like a song I once knew. I can't remember the melody." The little mouse gently patted the giant's beard. "That's all right. We'll help you remember." The mice immediately began telling jokes. The first mouse stood proudly. "What do you call a sleepy cloud?" Everyone waited. "A napkin." Silence. The raven blinked. "I don't understand." "Neither do I." The mouse admitted. "I was hoping someone else would." Oliver laughed softly. A tiny golden light floated upward, joining the stars. The valley became just a little brighter. The second mouse tried. What did one sandwich say to the other? No one answered. "You're on a roll." Oliver smiled. The giant's lips twitched. Just a little. The third mouse proudly stepped forward. He pointed dramatically toward the potato. "My student has prepared today's speech." The potato remained perfectly still. Everyone waited. Several seconds passed. The mouse nodded seriously. "Powerful." Oliver laughed harder. Even the raven let out an unexpected little chuckle. Tiny golden lights rose gently into the sky. The stars multiplied. The valley shimmered. Still, the giant did not laugh. He smiled. But something inside remained locked away. Oliver thought quietly. Then he remembered something from his childhood. He stood up, looked at Bram, and crossed his eyes as dramatically as possible. Then, quite accidentally, he tripped over absolutely nothing. He spun once, twice, 3 times, and landed gently inside a bush. Only his boots remained visible. Complete silence. Then, one tiny bird landed on Oliver's hat. The bird looked confused. Oliver looked even more confused. The giant blinked. Once. Twice. Suddenly, a deep rumble escaped his chest. Not sadness. Not thunder. A laugh. Small at first. Then larger. Then louder. Soon Bram laughed so joyfully that tears rolled down his enormous cheeks. His laughter echoed across the valley like warm music. Golden lights burst upward by the hundreds. Thousands. Millions. They filled the sky. Every laugh became another beautiful star. The heavens sparkled brighter than ever before. Even the mountains seemed to smile. When the laughter finally settled, the valley glowed with peaceful light. Bram wiped his eyes. I remember now. Oliver climbed out of the bush, brushing leaves from his coat. What? The giant smiled warmly. Laughter doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from sharing moments with friends. Oliver nodded. I think you're right. Just then, the stars above shifted. One bright star slowly descended from the sky. It floated gently into Bram's hands. The light unfolded into a tiny crystal. Inside it, a single memory shimmered. A younger Bram laughing with countless children beneath the same stars many years ago. The giant smiled softly. I thought I'd lost this forever. Myra stepped closer. No joyful memory is ever truly lost. It only waits for someone to remember. Far away, at the edge of the valley, the shadow fog watched silently. For a brief moment, its dark shape became thinner, less heavy, less cold, almost transparent. As Bram laughed once more, a tiny ray of golden light passed through the darkness. The shadow fog did not flee. It simply stood there, quietly watching the stars that had been born from joy. And somewhere deep inside the ancient mist, something long forgotten stirred. Not fear, not anger, a memory, the faintest memory, of laughter. The travelers quietly left the Valley of Laughter. Behind them, new stars continued to appear in the peaceful night sky. Oliver looked upward one last time. He wondered how many stars had been created by simple moments of happiness. Perhaps more than anyone could ever count. The silver feather bookmark glowed once again. Its light now pointed toward a distant mountain, where the next mystery patiently awaited. The journey was far from over, but with every step, the darkness seemed just a little less lonely, and the light a little brighter. The stars slowly drifted westward. The Valley of Laughter faded behind the travelers until it became only a gentle glow upon the horizon. The enchanted boat carried them quietly toward distant mountains. Unlike the rolling hills they had visited before, these mountains rose gracefully into the sky. Their peaks disappeared into soft silver clouds. Long waterfalls spilled down smooth cliffs, singing peaceful melodies as they flowed. Oliver rested against the wooden railing. The rhythm of the sea, the whisper of the wind, and the gentle rocking of the little boat made everything feel wonderfully calm. Even the sleepy raven had stopped pretending to stay awake. He balanced upon the mast with his head tucked beneath one wing. One mouse whispered, "I think he's sleeping." Another nodded. "He usually is." The third smiled. "I wish I had that talent." By sunrise, the boat reached the foot of the mountains. There was no dock. Instead, A staircase appeared. Not carved from stone. Not built from wood. Each step was made from soft white clouds. The staircase floated gently upward, winding between waterfalls and flowering trees. Oliver looked at Myra. It looks too soft to walk on. Myra smiled. Clouds become strong when they carry peaceful hearts. Oliver carefully stepped onto the first cloud. It held him perfectly. Soft. Warm. Comforting. Like walking across a pillow that somehow knew exactly where his feet wanted to land. The climb was peaceful. Birds with shimmering blue feathers flew beside them. Tiny rabbits hopped through patches of wildflowers. Butterflies drifted lazily on the mountain breeze. Every few moments, a bell rang somewhere high above. Its sound echoed gently through the valleys. Not loud. Never startling. Simply inviting. After what felt like a pleasant morning walk, they reached a small village hidden among the clouds. It was unlike any village Oliver had ever imagined. Every house had a clock. Not just one. Dozens. Tiny clocks. Tall clocks. Round clocks. Square clocks. Some had golden hands. Others had silver moons instead of numbers. None of them showed the same time. Yet somehow, they all felt perfectly correct. Oliver tilted his head. Shouldn't they match? A cheerful squirrel sweeping the front porch looked up. Oh no. She laughed. These clocks don't measure hours. They measure moments. Oliver blinked. Moments. The squirrel nodded proudly. This one marks the first time someone forgives. She pointed to a little copper clock. And that one remembers every sunrise someone truly stopped to admire. Another clock chimed softly. Oh. She smiled. Someone just shared homemade soup. Oliver couldn't help laughing. What happens if nobody shares soup? The squirrel thought for a moment. Then it waits patiently. At the center of the village stood a small workshop. Its walls were covered in climbing roses. Tiny gears turned lazily in the windows. Wind chimes made from old clock keys sang quietly in the breeze. Above the door hung a simple wooden sign. The keeper of lost time. The door opened before anyone knocked. An elderly man stood smiling inside. His beard was as white as fresh snow. Round spectacles rested upon the tip of his nose. A tiny golden watch hung from a ribbon around his neck. Welcome, he said warmly. I've been expecting you. Oliver smiled. How does everyone already know we are coming? The old man chuckled. When you spend enough time repairing time, you become rather good at noticing arrivals. My name is Cedric, he said. I repair moments that people believe they've lost. Oliver looked around the workshop. It was filled with hundreds of clocks, but also stranger things. Glass bottles filled with sunsets. Tiny jars containing first snowflakes. Music boxes holding forgotten lullabies. A shelf of smiling photographs with no people inside them. Only places. Beautiful, peaceful places. Oliver walked slowly past a workbench. There. Cedric was repairing something no larger than a walnut. It wasn't a clock. It was a memory. Inside a crystal sphere, a little girl laughed while flying a kite beside her grandfather. A tiny crack ran across the sphere. Cedric carefully polished it with a feather. Immediately, the laughter became brighter. The colors returned. The memory smiled once more. Oliver whispered, "Can memories really break?" Cedric nodded gently. only when people stop believing they matter. The old clockmaker invited everyone to tea. Warm honey biscuits appeared. So did cinnamon cakes. The mice cheered. The raven woke instantly. I sensed pastries. No one seemed surprised. After tea, Cedric led Oliver to the back of the workshop. There stood the largest clock Oliver had ever seen. Its face was taller than a house. Golden hands moved almost too slowly to notice. Instead of numbers, the edge contained tiny symbols: stars, leaves, feathers, lanterns, shells, clouds. What does it measure? Oliver asked. Cedric smiled. Hope. Oliver stared. The world has a hope clock. It always has. Cedric gently touched the glass. The great clock answered with one deep, peaceful chime. Its hands continued moving, very slowly, very steadily. Oliver noticed something strange. The golden hands were becoming brighter. Is that good? Cedric nodded. Very. Someone has been returning hope to the world. The old man looked kindly toward Oliver. I believe I know who. Oliver lowered his eyes modestly. I've only been helping. Cedric smiled. That is exactly how hope grows. A comfortable silence settled over the room. Then Cedric became thoughtful. There is something you should know. He opened an ancient wooden chest. Inside rested a single crystal hourglass. Instead of sand, golden mist flowed gently between its chambers. Cedric held it carefully. This belonged to the Shadow Keeper. Oliver's heart skipped. The shadow fog. Cedric nodded. But long before anyone called it that, the room grew very still. Even the clocks seemed to tick more softly. Many centuries ago, Cedric began. There lived a gentle guardian named Noctis. He watched over people's fears, not to make them stronger, but to help them fade before morning. Oliver listened closely. Each night, Cedric continued. People left their worries beside their dreams. Noctis gathered the worries, so no one carried them alone. For countless years, he served faithfully. Myra closed her eyes quietly. She had heard the story before. But one winter, Cedric said softly, the world changed. People became busier. They stopped sharing their fears. They hid them. They buried them deep inside. Noctis gathered more sadness than any heart could bear. The fears grew heavier, the loneliness deeper, and slowly, the guardian forgot his own name. Oliver whispered. He became the shadow fog. Cedric nodded, not because he chose darkness, but because he carried too much of it. Far away, dark mist drifted silently across the horizon, not angry, not hunting, simply wandering, as though searching for something it couldn't remember. Oliver spoke very softly. He's lonely. Myra nodded. Terribly lonely. And no one has tried to understand him for centuries. Cedric carefully placed the crystal hourglass into Oliver's hands. It no longer belongs to me. It belongs to the one who believes fear deserves compassion. The hourglass felt warm. Golden mist flowed peacefully inside. What do I do with it? Cedric smiled. You'll know. The answer always arrives, just before it's needed. As evening settled over the cloud village, Every clock chimed together. Not loudly. Not all at once. Each one waited politely for the next. The melody drifted across the mountains like a lullaby. Oliver stood outside beneath the stars. The silver feather. The magical map. The crystal hourglass. Each piece of the journey was slowly coming together. He no longer wondered how to defeat the shadow fog. Now, he wondered something far more important. How do you help someone remember who they truly are? Far beyond the mountains, the Whispering Lighthouse sent its warm golden beam across the sea. For the first time in many centuries, that light reached the edge of the shadow fog, and the darkness, instead of retreating, paused, as though, deep within the forgotten guardian, the name Noctis had almost been remembered. The mountain village slowly disappeared behind them. Its many clocks continued chiming softly in the distance, their gentle melody carried by the evening breeze until it blended with the whisper of the sea. Oliver carefully placed the crystal hourglass inside his satchel. The silver feather bookmark rested beside it. His magical notebook, filled with maps that drew themselves, lay safely beneath his arm. Each gift seemed ordinary by itself. Together, they felt like pieces of a story quietly preparing for its ending. The little enchanted boat sailed once more across the silent sea. This night was different. The moon appeared larger, brighter. Its silver reflection stretched across the water like a path leading somewhere far beyond the horizon. No one spoke for a while. Sometimes, the most peaceful journeys were the quietest ones. The mice leaned comfortably against one another. The raven pretended not to be asleep. Oliver watched tiny glowing fish leap from the sea. Each splash became a circle of soft golden light before fading into the calm water. It felt as though the whole world had slowed down, just enough to breathe. Near midnight, the silver feather lifted itself into the air again. This time, it did not point ahead. It circled slowly, then drifted upward. Oliver looked toward the sky. There, hanging gently between two distant hills, floated a bridge made entirely of moonlight. It was delicate, almost transparent, yet it shimmered with quiet strength. Myra smiled. The bridge appears only on nights when someone is ready to listen. Listen to what? Oliver asked. She looked toward the stars, to wishes that were never spoken aloud. The travelers stepped onto the glowing bridge. Their footsteps made no sound. Below them, clouds drifted lazily over the sea. Above, countless stars watched peacefully. Halfway across, Oliver noticed something curious. Tiny white feathers rested along the bridge. Each feather glowed for only a moment, then quietly disappeared. Where do they go? He whispered. Myra smiled. They become dreams for children who need hope. Oliver gently picked one up. It melted into warm light inside his hand. Without knowing why, he suddenly remembered his grandmother smiling as she folded paper boats for him when he was very young. The memory felt so vivid. He could almost hear her gentle laughter. He smiled. Some memories didn't need words. At the end of the bridge, they found a hidden valley unlike any they had visited before. There were no towering trees, no rivers, no houses, only endless fields of flowers stretching beneath the moonlight. Millions of them. Every flower glowed softly. Some blue, some golden, some silver. Others shimmered with colors Oliver had never seen before. The air smelled of jasmine, fresh rain, and warm honey. A gentle breeze moved through the blossoms. Instead of rustling, The flowers whispered. Not loudly. Not clearly. Just enough to sound like distant conversations carried by the wind. Oliver closed his eyes. He listened. At first, he heard only soft murmurs. Then, little by little, the whispers became words. I hope Mother feels better. I wish my brother comes home safely. I want to learn to sing. I hope someone forgives me. I wish I could be brave. Oliver slowly opened his eyes. They are wishes. Myra nodded. The ones people never said aloud. One of the mice knelt beside a tiny blue flower. This one belongs to a little girl. She wishes her lonely neighbor would smile again. The flower glowed warmly. The mouse gently patted one of its petals. It will bloom brighter tomorrow. Oliver looked around in amazement. Every flower is someone's hope. Yes, said Myra. And every hope deserves somewhere safe to grow. As they wandered deeper into the garden, they came upon a woman tending the flowers. She wore simple green robes. Her long silver hair was braided with tiny white blossoms. Wherever she walked, flowers gently turned toward her. She greeted them with a peaceful smile. Welcome. I am Lyra, the gardener of wishes. Oliver bowed politely. The garden is beautiful. Lyra smiled. It isn't mine. It belongs to everyone who has ever hoped for something kind. She handed Oliver a tiny watering can. It was made from polished moonstone. Inside, there was no water, only soft golden light. What do I do with this? Lyra answered gently. Walk. Whenever your heart notices a flower that needs encouragement, water it. Oliver frowned. But how will I know? You won't. You'll feel it. He wandered slowly among the blossoms. Most glowed brightly, healthy, strong. Then, he noticed one small flower almost hidden beneath taller plants. Its petals were pale gray. Its light flickered weakly. Oliver knelt beside it. He carefully poured a single drop of golden light. Immediately, the flower bloomed. Its petals became deep sapphire blue. A soft voice whispered from within it. I hope someone believes in me. Oliver smiled gently. Ido. The flower shimmered happily. Far above, a new little star appeared in the sky. Hours passed peacefully. Oliver watered many flowers. Not because someone told him which ones needed care, but because something inside quietly guided him. Each flower responded differently. Some released tiny butterflies. Some sang. One sneezed politely. The mice applauded. The raven claimed it had been a very elegant sneeze. Everyone laughed softly. Another handful of stars appeared overhead. As dawn slowly approached, Lyra led them toward the center of the garden. There stood a single flower unlike all the others. It was enormous. Its petals shimmered with both golden light and gentle shadows. Half of the blossom glowed warmly. The other half remained dim. Oliver stepped closer. This flower feels different. Lyra nodded. It is. It grew from the very first wish Noctis ever protected. Oliver's heart stirred. The Shadow Keeper. Yes. She gently touched one of the petals. Long ago, before he became the Shadow Fog, Noctis had made a wish of his own. Not for power, not for glory. Simply this. May no one ever carry their fears alone. Oliver stood silently. The words settled deep within him. Noctis had never wanted anything for himself. He had only wanted others to feel safe. Lyra continued softly. When the world stopped sharing its fears, Noctis kept collecting them. He believed it was still his duty. But no heart can carry endless sorrow forever. Oliver looked at the dim half of the flower. So part of his wish is still alive. Exactly. Lyra smiled. Hope never disappears. It only waits patiently beneath the shadows. She gently plucked a single glowing seed from the center of the blossom. The seed floated into Oliver's hands. It was warm, lighter than a feather, brighter than a firefly. This is the seed of compassion. Lyra whispered. It cannot force anyone to change. It cannot erase sadness. But when offered freely, it reminds forgotten hearts that they were once loved. Oliver carefully placed the seed beside the crystal hourglass. The two glowed together. Golden light swirled peacefully around them. As the first light of morning spread across the eastern sky, the garden of silent wishes began fading into mist. One by one, the flowers folded their petals, not to sleep, but to carry their hopes into a new day. The whispers grew quieter. The stars slowly disappeared beneath the sunrise. Lyra smiled one final time. Remember, Oliver, wishes grow strongest when shared. The travelers crossed the moonlit bridge once more. Behind them, the magical garden vanished without a trace. Only the gentle fragrance of jasmine remained upon the breeze. Far out across the silent sea, the shadow fog drifted silently. But this time, it paused. For just a moment, a tiny blue flower appeared within the darkness, blooming where no flowers had ever grown before. Noctis did not understand why. He only knew. For the first time in centuries, the endless cold felt just a little warmer. The morning unfolded slowly across the silent sea. Soft ribbons of golden sunlight stretched over the calm water, painting every gentle wave with warm light. The enchanted boat sailed homeward without anyone steering it. It seemed to know exactly where it belonged. Oliver sat quietly near the bow. Inside his satchel rested the gifts he had gathered throughout the journey. The magical notebook, whose maps appeared only when needed. The silver feather, light as hope itself. The crystal hourglass, filled with flowing golden mist. And the tiny seed of compassion, glowing softly with every beat of his heart. He gently touched the satchel. Each treasure felt less like an object, and more like a promise. The three little mice sat together eating breakfast. One carefully buttered toast, another spread strawberry jam. The third, after much serious thought, spread jam on both sides. Oliver raised an eyebrow. Does that work? The mouse nodded confidently. It doubles the happiness. A moment later, the toast stuck to the table. The mouse sighed. It also doubles the cleaning. Everyone laughed quietly. Even the raven gave a sleepy little chuckle. Tiny ripples of joy floated across the sea. By afternoon, the familiar cliffs of Willow Bay appeared on the horizon. Above them, the place where the mysterious lighthouse usually stood at night remained empty, just as it always had. The villagers were busy repairing fishing nets, watering gardens, and waving kindly as Oliver's little boat drifted into the harbor. None of them noticed the enchanted sails, or the glowing lantern. Magic often preferred not to be seen. Old Mrs. Hazel smiled from her bakery. Welcome home, Oliver. You've been gone several days." Oliver smiled back. "It feels like much longer." She handed him a warm cinnamon roll. No adventure should end on an empty stomach. The mice immediately agreed, especially after Oliver shared the pastry. That evening, Oliver climbed the familiar cliff once again. The sky slowly darkened. One star appeared, then another. The sea became quiet. The wind softened. At exactly midnight, the air shimmered. Stone walls rose gently from the earth. Windows glowed like warm amber. The spiral staircase unfolded gracefully. The Whispering Lighthouse had returned. Only this time, something was different. Its golden light flickered, just slightly, like a lantern trying very hard to stay bright. Myra waited at the doorway. She looked peaceful, but thoughtful. "You felt it too." Oliver nodded. "The lighthouse is tired." Myra smiled sadly. "It has been waiting a very long time." Inside, the familiar warmth welcomed them. Books floated lazily through the air. The scent of cinnamon tea filled the halls. The little mice hurried to polish lantern glass. The sleepy raven flew to his favorite window. Everything looked the same. Yet somehow, everything felt quieter, almost as though the lighthouse itself were holding its breath. Myra led Oliver to the very top of the tower. The great lantern turned slowly above them. Its enormous crystal lens filled the room with warm golden light. Beyond the windows, the silent sea stretched endlessly beneath countless stars. Myra placed a hand upon the ancient lantern. This lighthouse was never built from stone. Oliver looked around in surprise. But it only borrowed the shape of stone. She smiled. It was built from something much older. What? Every act of kindness. Oliver blinked. Myra continued softly. When someone comforts a frightened child, a little light is added. When strangers forgive each other, the lantern grows brighter. When someone chooses hope, another flame awakens. Oliver looked up into the great crystal. Thousands, perhaps millions, of tiny lights shimmered inside it. Every kind word, every helping hand, every gentle smile. Together, they had become the lighthouse. No wonder it felt alive. It truly was. Suddenly, the lantern dimmed, just for a heartbeat. A cold breeze drifted through the room. Outside, the sea grew strangely still. Far beyond the cliffs, dark mist slowly appeared. The shadow fog had come, not rushing, not threatening, simply approaching. The mice became quiet. The raven lowered his head. Myra closed her eyes. "It is time." Oliver looked at the glowing gifts he had gathered. The silver feather fluttered gently. The hourglass shimmered. The seed of compassion glowed brighter than ever before. Each seemed to be waiting. But waiting. For what? Then he noticed something on the floor. The magical notebook had opened by itself. Across its final blank page, golden lines began drawing. Not a map this time. A circle. A lighthouse. A path of light leading toward the darkness. And beneath it, new words slowly appeared. The final journey cannot be walked alone. Oliver whispered the words aloud. Myra smiled. Exactly. The old keeper gently lifted the great lantern from its place. To Oliver's surprise, it became small enough to carry. She placed it carefully into his hands. Its warm light surrounded them both. "This lantern does not chase shadows away," she said quietly. "It reminds them where home is." Oliver held it close. It felt warm, comforting, like holding sunrise itself. Together, they descended the spiral staircase. The mice followed, each carrying a tiny candle. The raven flew silently overhead. Outside, the moon reflected across the calm sea. A narrow bridge of golden light stretched from the lighthouse, straight toward the waiting shadow fog. No one had built the bridge. The lighthouse simply remembered the way. Oliver took one slow step onto it. The lantern glowed. Behind him, the lighthouse shone brighter than it ever had before. Ahead, the endless darkness waited, not with anger, not with hatred, only with a loneliness so ancient. It had almost forgotten what hope felt like. Oliver did not feel fearless. His heart beat quickly. His hands trembled slightly around the lantern. But he remembered Elder Moss's gentle words. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing kindness even while fear walks beside you. He smiled softly. Then he kept walking, step by step, light by light, towards someone who had carried the world's fears for far too long. Behind him, the Whispering Lighthouse whispered gently into the night. Its ancient voice drifted across the sea like a lullaby. Welcome home. Whether those words were meant for Oliver or for Noctis, no one could say. Perhaps they were meant for both. The stars shimmered peacefully overhead. The sea remained calm, and somewhere deep within the waiting darkness, a forgotten name echoed once more. Noctis. For the first time in centuries, the shadow fog stopped moving, not because it was afraid, but because it had heard someone calling it home. The golden bridge stretched across the silent sea like a ribbon woven from moonlight and dawn. It did not sway. It did not creak. It simply waited, patient, steady, certain of its purpose. Oliver walked slowly. The lantern rested gently in his hands. Its warm glow spread in a quiet circle around him, touching the bridge with soft amber light. Behind him, the Whispering Lighthouse stood proudly upon the cliff. Its beam swept slowly across the sea, not searching, simply watching, like an old friend waiting at the door. The three little mice followed close behind. Each carried a tiny candle. The sleepy raven glided silently overhead. Even he seemed unusually awake. No one hurried. Some journeys become more meaningful when taken one careful step at a time. Ahead, the shadow fog waited. It stretched across the water like a great grey cloud. Yet tonight, Oliver noticed something he had never seen before. The darkness was not solid. It moved gently, like fabric drifting beneath a quiet breeze. Within its mist, countless tiny lights flickered. Some appeared, then disappeared. Others glowed for only a heartbeat, almost like stars hidden behind clouds. Oliver whispered, "There are lights inside." Myra nodded softly. "They are the dreams Noctis tried to protect. They never truly left him. They've simply been hidden for a very long time." As Oliver stepped closer, the darkness slowly unfolded, not into something frightening, but into the shape of a very tall traveler wearing a long cloak woven from shadow and silver mist. His face was calm, gentle. His eyes glowed with the soft blue light of distant stars. They looked ancient, not because of age, but because they had witnessed countless nights. The traveler looked at Oliver quietly. His voice was little more than a whisper carried by the wind. You are not afraid. Oliver smiled gently. I am. The traveler tilted his head. But you still came. Oliver nodded. I thought you might be lonely. The traveler closed his eyes. No one had spoken those words to him for longer than he could remember. For several quiet moments, they simply stood together upon the bridge. The sea whispered below. Stars shimmered above. The lantern glowed warmly between them. Finally, the traveler spoke again. I no longer remember my name. Oliver looked into his kind, tired eyes. Your name, he said softly, is Noctis. The shadow trembled. The mist around him rippled gently. Noctis, he repeated. The word felt unfamiliar, yet strangely comforting, like hearing a song remembered from childhood. The tiny mice stepped forward. The smallest one opened an enormous book. We've been keeping something for you. Noctis looked down curiously. The mouse carefully turned the pages. Inside were drawings. Children sleeping peacefully. Families embracing after difficult days. Friends helping one another. Quiet acts of kindness. Tiny moments that most people never noticed. You protected all of these. The mouse said. Every peaceful dream. Every brave heart. Every frightened child who slept safely through the night. Noctis stared silently. I did. The mouse nodded. You always did. Oliver slowly removed the crystal hourglass from his satchel. Golden mist flowed gently inside. Cedric's words echoed in his memory. The answer always arrives, just before it's needed. Oliver held the hourglass toward Noctis. I think this belongs to you. The shadow hesitated. My hands. They only bring darkness. Oliver smiled. Then let the light meet you halfway. Slowly, very slowly, Noctis reached forward. His fingers touched the crystal. For a single heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, the hourglass began to glow. The golden mist inside flowed faster, not downward, upward, like sunlight rising at dawn. A warm breeze crossed the sea. The darkness surrounding Noctis became thinner, not disappearing, simply becoming lighter. Inside the mist, Oliver saw something extraordinary. Hundreds of memories. A frightened child comforted during a storm. An old sailor finding courage before a difficult voyage. A lonely traveler discovering friendship beside a campfire. Noctis had been there. Always quietly. Always unseen. Protecting people from fears they never even realized had faded before morning. Tears filled Noctis's eyes. I remember. He whispered. I wanted no one to carry fear alone. Oliver nodded. I know. The seed of compassion suddenly floated from Oliver's satchel. It drifted gently through the air until it rested in front of Noctis. The tiny glowing seed spun slowly, like a little golden star. It is for you. Oliver said. I don't deserve it. Noctis whispered. I became the darkness. Oliver shook his head. No. You became tired. The sea fell silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. Noctis looked at Oliver with quiet surprise. Tired? You carried everyone's fears. Oliver continued gently. 4 centuries. No one asked how you were. No one shared the weight. So you carried it alone. The shadow lowered his head. The words settled into the silence like gentle rain. For the first time in countless years, someone had seen not the darkness, but the heart inside it. Slowly, Noctis accepted the tiny seed. The moment it touched his hand, a soft golden flower bloomed. Not outside him, inside the shadow itself. Warm light spread through the mist. Grey became silver. Silver became blue. Tiny stars awakened throughout the darkness. The bridge beneath them shimmered brightly. Far away, the Whispering Lighthouse answered with a joyful beam of light. The sleepy raven finally spoke. "I've been thinking." Everyone turned. "I know," said one mouse. "It's unusual." The raven ignored him. "Perhaps," he continued, "shadows aren't the opposite of light." Everyone listened. They're simply places, waiting for light to arrive. Noctis smiled. A genuine smile. Perhaps the first in centuries. "I rather like that." Then, something wonderful happened. The countless dream lights hidden inside the shadow fog began floating free. One by one, they rose into the night sky, not escaping, returning. A dream of becoming a musician, a dream of planting forests, a dream of building homes, a dream of forgiving an old friend, a dream of learning to read. Millions of tiny golden lights drifted gently toward the lighthouse. The great lantern welcomed every single one. Its light grew brighter than ever before. The sea reflected gold from horizon to horizon. Even the stars seemed to shine with renewed joy. Noctis looked toward the lighthouse. "It still remembers me." Myra smiled warmly. It never forgot. Lighthouses are very good at waiting. Noctis laughed quietly. The sound was soft, gentle, like rain falling on leaves. Above them, one brand new star appeared, then another, and another. Even laughter, after centuries of silence, still became light. Oliver stood beside Noctis. Neither spoke. Words were no longer needed. The silence between them felt peaceful, comfortable, whole. Some friendships begin not with long conversations, but with simple understanding. Together, they watched the stars fill the sky, and for the first time in many centuries, there was no shadow fog upon the silent sea, only silver mist, gently glowing beneath the moon. The night was quieter than it had ever been, not because the world had fallen silent, but because every sound had found its perfect place. The waves whispered softly against the cliffs. The breeze wandered gently through the wildflowers. Far above, the stars shimmered peacefully across an endless velvet sky, and standing proudly above the sea, the Whispering Lighthouse shone brighter than anyone had ever seen. Its golden light no longer flickered. It flowed across the ocean like a warm blanket, reaching every quiet corner of the silent sea. Oliver stood upon the cliff beside Myra. The three little mice sat together on the stone wall, sharing one enormous blueberry muffin that was far too large for them. The sleepy raven balanced comfortably on the lantern rail. For once, he was awake simply because he wanted to watch the sunrise. Beside them stood Noctis, no longer hidden inside endless darkness. His silver cloak drifted gently in the breeze. Tiny stars shimmered within its folds. His eyes still carried the wisdom of countless nights, but now they also carried peace. He looked toward the horizon. "I had forgotten," he whispered, "how beautiful dawn can be." Myra smiled. "Some things are worth remembering slowly." Below the cliff, The villagers of Willow Bay began waking. Children opened their windows. Fishermen untied their boats. The baker lit her ovens. Dogs stretched lazily in the morning light. None of them knew exactly why the day felt different. They only knew. They woke feeling lighter, a little more hopeful, a little more willing to smile. An old fisherman who had stopped carving little wooden birds picked up his carving knife again. A young girl who had been too shy to sing quietly hummed as she walked to the well. The village schoolteacher found a half-finished story in a drawer and decided to complete it. Across the world, dreams that had drifted forgotten for years quietly found their way home. Not all at once. One gentle heart at a time. Inside the lighthouse, the great lantern turned slowly. Its crystal lens sparkled with millions of tiny lights. Oliver stepped closer. This time, he could see them clearly. Each light held a memory, a kind word, a helping hand, a brave decision, a quiet apology, a promise kept, a stranger offering directions, someone planting a tree, someone reading a bedtime story, someone forgiving, someone beginning again. The lighthouse had never been powered by magic alone. It had always been fueled by ordinary kindness. The smallest acts had become the brightest light. One of the mice climbed onto Oliver's shoulder. "I think," he said thoughtfully, "people sometimes believe they need to do something enormous to change the world." Oliver nodded. "I've thought that too." The mouse smiled. "But look." He pointed toward the lantern. It wasn't built from enormous things. Oliver watched the countless tiny lights dancing together. The mouse was right. Not one light outshone the others. Together, they became something extraordinary. Noctis slowly approached the great lantern. For a moment, he hesitated. "I don't know if I belong here anymore." Myra gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "You always did." She pointed upward. The lighthouse was never waiting for someone perfect. It was waiting for someone to come home. Noctis looked into the lantern. Among the millions of lights, one small flame floated toward him. It rested gently in his hand. Warm, golden, peaceful. "What is it?" he asked. Myra smiled. "Your own hope. You left it here a very long time ago." Tears filled Noctis's eyes. He hadn't realized he had lost it. Outside, the first rays of sunrise reached the sea. The horizon turned shades of gold, rose, and soft lavender. Birds began singing. The waves shimmered. The world slowly awakened. The raven cleared his throat dramatically. "I have something important to announce." Everyone turned toward him. He stood proudly upon the railing. "I have decided," he declared, "to remain awake until breakfast." The mice applauded enthusiastically. One whispered, "That's the bravest thing he's ever done." Even Noctis laughed. His laughter floated into the morning sky. Somewhere above, another tiny star quietly appeared. Because joy, once created, never truly disappears. Oliver wandered down the spiral staircase one final time. Each step seemed to glow beneath his feet. Near the entrance, he noticed something he had never seen before. A small wooden shelf. Upon it rested dozens of old lanterns. Some polished, some weathered, some tiny enough to fit in one hand, others large enough to light an entire room. Each lantern carried a little brass plaque. The lantern of patience, the lantern of forgiveness, the lantern of wonder, the lantern of courage. At the very end of the shelf, one empty space remained. Myra joined him. It has been waiting. For what? Oliver asked. She handed him a simple lantern made of warm oak and clear glass. Unlike the others, it contained no flame. It isn't empty, she said softly. It is waiting for its first light. Oliver held it carefully. What should I call it? Myra smiled. That isn't for me to decide. Oliver thought for a long while. He remembered the frightened dreams, the laughing giant, the underwater library, the garden of silent wishes, the sleepy raven, the wonderfully unusual mice, and Noctis, who had only needed someone to understand. Finally, Oliver smiled. He carefully placed the lantern upon the shelf. The brass plaque slowly engraved itself. The lantern of compassion. Immediately, a tiny golden flame appeared inside. Small, gentle, steady. The lighthouse became just a little brighter. Days passed, then weeks, then seasons. The mysterious lighthouse still disappeared every morning. It still returned every midnight. Travelers continued whispering stories about the strange golden light upon the cliffs. Children imagined magical adventures. Old sailors smiled knowingly. No one ever fully explained the mystery. Some mysteries become more beautiful when shared rather than solved. Oliver remained the village mapmaker. But his maps changed. He no longer drew only rivers and forests. Sometimes, he drew paths between people. Sometimes, he mapped places where courage had quietly grown. Sometimes, he simply left blank pages, trusting someone else's story would one day fill them. The three little mice continued caring for the lighthouse. The raven still took magnificent naps, though now, he occasionally stayed awake long enough to admire the sunrise. He insisted this did not make him sentimental. No one believed him. As for Noctis, he never again carried the world's fears alone. People still experienced sadness. They still worried. They still faced difficult days. But now, they shared their burdens with friends, with family, with kind strangers, with quiet conversations beneath the stars. And every time someone chose compassion instead of fear, another tiny light found its way into the Whispering Lighthouse. Many years later, an old traveler asked Oliver, "Tell me, is the story of the Whispering Lighthouse true?" Oliver looked toward the sea. That evening, the familiar golden light slowly appeared upon the cliff. He smiled. "It becomes true," he answered gently. "Every time someone chooses kindness." The traveler looked toward the lighthouse. "So anyone can help keep it shining?" Oliver nodded. "Every single one of us." That night, the sea was calm. The stars sparkled softly overhead. The lighthouse turned peacefully, sending its warm golden beam across the sleeping world. Perhaps, as you close your eyes tonight, somewhere beyond dreams, you might imagine that gentle light drifting quietly across the sea. Maybe you'll hear the whisper of calm waves. Maybe you'll picture a tiny mouse proudly carrying a candle much too big for him. Maybe you'll smile at the thought of a raven who believes naps are an art form. Or perhaps you'll remember that even the heaviest shadows can become gentle again when someone chooses understanding over fear. Because the brightest lanterns are not the ones made of glass or gold. They are the ones quietly carried within kind hearts. And whenever you offer a smile, listen with patience. forgive someone, or help another person without expecting anything in return. Somewhere, far beyond the silent sea, the Whispering Lighthouse glows just a little brighter. Sleep peacefully now. The stars are watching kindly. The sea is calm. The lighthouse is shining. And every beautiful dream knows the way home.